Hey, howdy folks, Rampage here to talk to you about this week's Impact Wrestling. I'm getting caught back up on Impact. I didn't watch it for a while, but I started watching a few weeks ago, so I might have a few blind spots, but let's take a look at what happened tonight. We do start with one of my favorite things these days. Broken Matt Hardy comes down to the ring, brings out Brother Nero, the deleted Jeff Hardy. I love Rebby behind him yelling obsolete, 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 all the way to the ring. It's obnoxious as all hell, purposely, and I think it works really well. Matt basically says, hey, I've got my match tonight. He's going to fight EC3, and it's Brother Nero's job to make sure it gets done. In lots of cryptic speak, but that's where we get at the end. EC3 storms down to the ring, gets up in the face of Matt Hardy, attempts to out-crazy Matt Hardy, gets pretty close. I'm really digging EC3 at this point. I loved his heel run, and now that he's more face at this point, I'm digging what he's doing. Basically, he gets up in Matt Hardy's face, says, I'm gonna beat you. Matt Hardy is like, I'm gonna eat your cats. And EC3 basically breaks at that point, says like, don't you eat Skunky, and then we have our match. I thought it was a fun back and forth match. At the end, Rebby does cause the distraction. Jeff has Maxwell's silver hammer, slides it into the ring. Doesn't give it to Matt, it sort of lands in the middle, so you can't really tell who he was trying to slide it to. Nice vague bit there. Matt gets up, he tries to grab the hammer. EC3 steps on it. He managed to break out because he actually gnaws on EC3's ankle. Because earlier in the match, actually, he sprains his ankle on a drop kick, and Matt Hardy actually pulls the boot off and tries to wrap it around the ring post. Pretty cool stuff there. But Matt Hardy pulls back the hammer, goes to hit EC3. The ref sees it. Ref takes the hammer away from him. Then EC3 hits him with the boot, followed by the 1%er, and gets the 1, 2, 3. And EC3 does move on to the finals for the Bound for Glory series. He will face the winner of our main event tonight, and the winner of those two will then face Bobby Lashley. After that, we get some weird promo with Broken Matt, Brother Nero. Basically, you have to do what I said. Like, what else can you do to me? Once again, Matt makes some weird cryptic remarks. I don't know. Maybe it involves Senior Benjamin, a dilapidated boat, and Vanguard 1. I don't know. But I know I'm really looking forward to find out what is next. From there, we have Gail Kim taking on Madison Rayne. Basically, Maria has put a bounty on Gail Kim's head. Gail Kim is going into the Hall of Fame, I believe at Bound for Glory. But before then, she wants to win the Knockouts title one more time. But now every single Knockout has to fight her. If she defeats every Knockout, she'll get her title match. And whoever beats Gail Kim gets some sort of an unknown, bonus. Good back and forth match for Gail Kim and Madison Rayne. Gail Kim does win, as we will probably see her win all of her matches to complete her triumphant story arc. Commentary was a bit weird there, Gail Kim hits Eat Defeat and gets the pinfall, and the emphasis of the commentary team doesn't change. There's no excitement for that, which is a little bit of a bummer to say. After that, we get to where things get weird even for TNA. We're going into, it's Bram and Rosemary out in the countryside somewhere. And I think she's decided that she needs to explain her backstory to Bram. So then it's the story of Rosemary's childhood, and she's playing herself in the video, so you see her dressed in a little dress, sitting on the bed, drawing in her journal, talking about her cat, which is a stuffed cat. And basically, her cat gets hurt, so she takes her cat to her mom. Her mom says, I'll take care of the cat, go do your homework. She's out on the porch doing her homework, gets bored, goes for a walk, sees a trash can under a tree, opens the trash can, cat's in the trash can. She gets really upset, climbs a tree, falls out, knocks her head, and suddenly becomes sort of crazy and psycho. And the tree is talking to her, which has the spirit of her dead younger brother that nobody knew about, which starts telling her about magic and spells and all sorts of weird stuff. But I'm digging it. Like, Rosemary is a creepy character. And we've established that Bram is psychotic. And when Bram's like, that's all well and good, but I'm here for you, whatever this craziness is, that's okay. Like, when Bram's your gauge of sanity, you know things are weird. Back in the Impact Zone, we have Moose taking on David Starr. So you've got the new guy with the big hype taking on the guy who doesn't even get a ring entrance. Surprise, surprise, Moose gets the win. He does this sort of... He looks like he sets him up for Okada's Rainmaker Lariat, but then he does Discus Clothesline instead. It's a little interesting move there. I think it's... Was it Play of the Day? Play of the... I forget the name of the move now. I need to get better at Impact. The cool thing, though, David Starr, is it wasn't a squash match. She actually got a lot more offense in than I was expecting, so that was really cool to see. Post-match, Lashley shows up because last week, Moose attacked Lashley. Big stare down between the two of them. Bennett succeeds in talking Moose down. He's got some sort of a plan. Him and Moose leave, and Zema Ion shows up. DJ Zema Ion. And I guess what we should bring up at this point is a few weeks ago, last week I think it was, Mike Bennett fought Bobby Lashley, tried to turn in the X Division Championship for a world title match at Destination X. That got ruined, therefore they had a rematch. It was title versus title. In the steel cage, Lashley went, so now Lashley has both titles. Where's the world title? And you got like the X Division title looped in on the side, like a hammer holster kind of thing. Zema Ion comes out, he's like, you're not X Division material. And Lashley sort of looks at him funny, he's like, well, I'm the champ, I am X Division material. He's like, you don't do X Division things. And Lashley continues to look at him funny, and basically he lets Zema Ion set whatever kind of match he wants, and Lashley says he'll beat him at it. So Zema Ion decides he wants a ladder match. And we get a ladder match. Weird note here is I think the graphics for the X Division at this point still say it's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. So calling out Lashley for not fitting the stereotype, a little bit weird there. But I get what they're going for. You need to get the title off the World Heavyweight Champion, but this seems like a strange route to go for it. Great match, Lashley and Zema Ion. I love the fact that every time Zema Ion tries to get a ladder in the ring, Lashley kicks it out. Your classic speed versus power match here. I really enjoyed it. At the very end, Zema Ion does hit the low blow. He hits the tornado TDT, gets almost up to the top of the ladder, and Lashley gets up there as well. They square off, and Lashley actually press slams him off the top of the ladder. I thought that was insane. Lashley does get the belt at that point, and he does retain. This doesn't do anything against Zema Ion. I thought he looks like $1 million coming out of this match, so I'm really interested to see where it goes from here. After that, we have EC3 backstage. He runs into Drew Galloway. He's basically like, hey, I know Mike Bennett has Moose. I got your back. Galloway says, I don't want your help. I don't want you having my back. I'm going to take care of this on my own. From there, we get more of Rosemary's creepy backstory, including black magic, and the person that her brother, who's in the tree, told her was going to show up, and then didn't show up. So she casts a spell to make some guy like her. She shows up at the bar, and then there's this weird jarring cut that she says she can't go on talking about. She has to show us, and motions towards the barn, and then we cut out, and I guess we'll figure out more next week. I'm thinking her dead boyfriend or dead guy that wasn't interested with her is buried in the barn? I don't know. We'll find out. Up next we have Eli Drake with his dummy button. Long promo with him and James Storm. I guess they fought for the King of the Mountain title previously. They're going to fight for it again. But this time, James Storm has to put, like, the Boozer Cruiser, the beer, all the things he does that make him on the line versus Eli Drake. I don't know what their previous deal here was. I thought the King of the Mountain title was only defended in King of the Mountain matches, which was the ladder and the title and the penalty box, so I'm a little confused here. If you can let me know what's going on with this title, please throw it down in the comments below. I'd love to get a heads up on that. After that, we have The Decay being Abyss and Crazy Steve fighting the Bromans, Jesse Goddard and Robbie E. with Raquel in a Monsters Ball tag team match. So, of course, it's crazy, it's hardcore. Josh Matthews is wondering where Abyss gets the idea for, like, boards with barbed wire on them. That's been a staple of hardcore wrestling since, like, ECW, so I don't know who invented them. It wasn't Abyss, though. A pretty crazy back and forth match. At one point, I really thought the Bromans had it. They hit a slam on Crazy Steve, locked the Adonis lock on him in the thumbtacks, which is pretty brutal to see. But at that point, Abyss does get in, he breaks it up, goes outside the ring, he pulls out Janice, which for those of you who don't know, is a 2x4 with lots of nails driven through it from every which way. Really crazy, intimidating weapon that never gets to be used, because if you used it, you would actually kill somebody. But they bring it out, it's intimidating. Raquel gets in the ring, hits the low blow, Abyss drops it. More back and forth action. In the end, however, Abyss does grab the Goozle, hits the choke slam on the board wrapped in barbed wire, and gets the pinfall for the 1, 2, 3, showing that Decay are not lost without Rosemary. Which is good to see. I was sort of afraid that this was going to be the, well, without her, they're nothing. So, they are still something without her. Who knows? Maybe Brandon comes into the fold. Only time will tell. From there, we have our main event match. We have Mike Bennett taking on Drew Galloway. And this match has more interference than a Nitro main event, folks. You have Moose showing up before the match, attacks Drew Galloway from behind, power bombs him on the apron. It's very Kevin Owens what he does. But then rolls Drew Galloway into the ring. They have their match. They're talking about every move that Mike Bennett does is 10 times more powerful because he's already hurt. Lots of back and forth at that point. The ref gets knocked out. Moose comes down again. Moose is wrecking havoc. EC3 comes down for the save, grabs a kendo stick, goes to hit Moose. He misses, clocks Drew Galloway. Of course, Drew Galloway goes down. More back and forth action. But in the end, Mike Bennett, the Miracle, takes the win and he moves on in the Bound for Glory series. So assuming next week we will have EC3 versus Mike Bennett. And I'm super stoked. That's going to be an amazing match. Well, that's my review of Impact this week, folks. Any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments down below. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.